And I didn't want this to be a laser gun, so I made it with real bullets, with limited number of bullets, with magazines. And the magazine change gesture had to be something that was good looking as well. So here, actually his abdomen is where the spare magazines come out from. And for the sword, I had a fish skeleton in mind as inspiration. And this would open up to become Mazinger's wings, and it would close to become his sword. And this was in line to the Sengoku Musou Dynasty Warriors video game, where the character would be wielding humongous swords. And the skull on the forehead, in accordance to Gonarai's design, was designed thus. And this is something that comes from the Mazinger Angel's design, but his partner in female form has giant wings on her head. But this goes back to Gonarai's Devilman series, where the villainous siren has wings on her head. So after I submitted the draft design to production, the director and the video game label came back with comments. So most of my proposals were okay.
もっと派手にフォルム、見た目のシルエットを変えてほしい。
But they wanted more glitz, more dynamic silhouette. And for the goat skeletal chest design, they wanted it something more like Devilman instead. And they didn't want the sword to be dualed with his wing because he won't be able to wield his sword when he's flying, so they wanted a redesign. So from there, I took their comments and incorporated it into the second draft. In the second draft, the sword has been modified to be the Chinese ponytail, and Mazinkaiser now has a Devilman style mark on his chest. And I came up with something new, that he would use his right eye for shooting guns and the left eye form when using the sword. But so this idea was not okayed, but later on it would be revived in the form of a one-eyed Mazinger. And he would put on a poncho and look even more aggressive. And body details such as shoulder, elbow, and knees were sharpened to look more menacing. And his sword has been changed to another draft. And these are details of his gun designs. And the director decided that the sword should be in the image of a pteranodon head. So I did 3 drafts, and draft C was the one that he liked. So it doesn't double as his wing, but the handle can change in length, so it can be a sword or a lance. And other details were brushed up to approach final draft. And this is the details of the head. And here's the one-eyed Mazinger that's revived. And this is incorporated in an integral part of the plot where Mazinger loses one eye. And Mazinger's partner, Kaiserin, and this is draft 2 of her. So in the first draft, her wings were much more organic. This is more mechanical in looks. And the design has been changed so that her wings becomes the wings that attach to Mazinkaiser to become his wings. And the final design, the final draft, incorporates a little bit of more updates to her head. And also, Kaiserin was also changed so that the piloter unit would dock. And this is a version of the draft that would be usable as designs for the toys. And I thought just a design draft would not be sufficient to imagine how the unit would be. So some of the flying forms were I added some flying forms to it. And this is a sketch of Mazinkaiser wearing the head wings from Kaiserin. So the line art is went to final draft at this point, so next comes coloring. And this is the first draft of the color. It's darker in color than original Mazinger Z.
でいくつかのサムネイルを作ってみんなで検討しながら、微調整をしながら決定していきます。
And we go through several drafts through conference, deciding on what kind of coloring scheme to use.
戻ります。
And let's go back.
進みます。
And let's go forward.
で、実際のデザイン作業は僕はここまででした。
So that ends my part of the work. And after that, the design version for the actual animators' work was drafted, and the actual animation gets produced. And for my part of the work, I get to do some illustration work.
というのも、日本ではこの OVA は3部作で発売されました。
Because the Mazinkaiser Skull OVA was released as a trilogy in Japan.
でビデオ作品ではあるんですが、プロモーションのために劇場公開をされるので、そのための前売り券ってわかりますかね。前売り券のために書き起こしたのがこれです。
And so it was a video release, but it was for promotional purposes also released in theaters. So the pre-sale tickets had my illustration of Mazinkaiser as art on it.
でその日本だと映画館に行くとパンフレットが売ってまして、それ用に書き下ろしたイラストがこれです。
And when you go to the movie theater in Japan, you can buy program books for the movie. This is the illustration I did for the program book.
昔は僕も絵の具で描いていたんですが、最近はずっとコンピューターでイラストを描いています。
And I used to use real paint in the past, but these days I do my work on the computer digitally.
ただあまりいかにもコンピューターで描いたっていうふうに見えたくないので、いろんな工夫をしています。
But I don't want to see people make it obvious that I use the computer to do my work, so I do a lot of things to make it uncomputer-ish. And I did do this illustration in the image of Frank Frazetta. And this was also from the movie program book. This was an homage to a Japanese illustrator, Yoshiyuki Takani. And Takani is really known as the box artist for models. And the models are, you don't get an actual finished image of a model until you build it. So the box art is very important in models. So personally, I still want to become a box artist for models. So still art might be a little bit boring, so I'd like to show you some clips from the Mazinkaiser Skull video.
このアニメーションに参加されているアニメーターさんは本当に優秀です。
All the animators who worked on this video were very talented.
今ほとんどメカニックの表現はコンピュータグラフィックスになってますのですが、この作品は全部手書きです。
And, most mecha animation are done with computer graphics these days, but all the mecha in this video were completely hand-drawn.
非常に迫力とスピード感のある作画が魅力です。
So all the speed, the sense of speed and the dynamics is something that's a selling point in this video.
こ 監督は川越淳さん。
And then this was directed by Jun Kawagoe,
数多くのロボットアニメの手掛け
and he's worked on a lot of giant robot shows.
なのでエコーストーリーボードが非常にすごい厚さがあります。
So he came up with a very thick storyboard.
これだけの細かいアクション全部表現されています。
He's doing all the specifications for the mecha action.
もうすぐ終わりですが、時間も時間なので、ちょっとだけ質問が受けられるように。
And we're almost out of time, so if we can spend the rest of our time taking some questions. And I know for a fact that the English version of Mazinkaiser is available here
これはこっちで僕が$19.99で買いました。
because I bought this for $19.99 here in the States.
ちゃんと僕の名前も入ってましたので安心しましたね。
And I was relieved to see that my name is in the credits.
ここに今日見てもらったのは絶対3分の1のここだけなので、まだ全然もっとアクションシーンありますので、ぜひ見てみてください。
And what we just saw in the clip is only a tiny part of the actual video. So there's a whole lot more that you can enjoy when you buy the DVD. Thank you.